This is Neva Harjochi, and today she's going to be showing us a great recipe. It's very creative. It's one that we can do at breakfast. It's a great source of calcium and vitamin D. Again, we're talking about the milk group. It's called Breakfast in a Loaf. So take us through it.
Breakfast in a loaf. Well, first off, as you can tell right here that I am scrambling 6 eggs in this skillet. And that's my first step in making this loaf. In this loaf, we have many ingredients in this. I keep stirring this. I don't want to burn my eggs. We have tomatoes. We have fresh mushrooms. We have red bell peppers. And we have chopped ham. We have black olives. And we have 2 types of cheese.
Great. So we've got some fresh veggies. Of course, eggs, an excellent source of protein. So we're getting a lot of different ingredients and fresh veggies.
Lots of colors in this. The more colors, the better in the vegetable groups. We try to go as bright or as dark as we can with our vegetables because the darker, redder, brighter they are, the more nutrient they are.
Absolutely. And a lot of times the nutrition is related to the color. So we've got the red pepper and the tomatoes. We've got some lycopene there. So lycopene is a phytochemical that can help protect against heart disease and certain kinds of cancer.
And my eggs are just about where I want them, so I'm going to turn off the burner.
All right.
Okay, let me set these to the side for just a second. I'm going to go back here and preheat my oven.
Don't want to forget that one.
No.
It's easy to do.
It's easy to do because this is such a skillet dish. I'm going to show you my bread trick. We're going to cut the top of this round loaf off.
Great. So we just use a round loaf of bread?
Yes, a round loaf of bread. And this is one of our handy recipes from our program. And we just put some oatmeal on top to add a little bit of dietary fiber to it.
Great.
We add a little seasoning to it. You can always add the seasoning that you like.
Looks great.
And this is kind of a hands-on. You'll notice this. I'm going to take some of the inside of this bread out.
It is hands-on.
Yes, very hands-on. Yes, I need a little garbage bowl here. That was my bowl that I used to scramble my eggs, so I'm just going to save some dishwashing time by using that to discard our bread in. And all I'm going to do is remove about half of the bread in the middle because I don't want to go all the way to the bottom. When I fill this, it'll get soggy, and I don't want it to be soggy. And if you're really conscious about throwing stuff away like the bread, you could always save it, freeze it, use it for breadcrumbs later. And this bread is really high in fiber, so
great.
It's a really good source of fiber for you.
Right. Anytime we can use some whole grains like the oatmeal that you mentioned, it does help add some fiber. So that's great.
Yeah. And the cheeses we're using today are cheddar and Monterey Jack. And I found that the lighter the cheese, the better it is. It's lower fat.
A lot of times it is. And with the cheese is our nutrient that is coming from the milk group. And cheese tends to be higher in fat than the low fat or a fat-free milk or yogurt. So you have to kind of take that into consideration when you're using cheese. The kind of fat in cheese is a saturated fat, which can be harmful if we consume too much of it.
Yes.
But it does provide us with some calcium and vitamin D. We just have to think about moderation when we're using the cheese.
Yes, we try to go low fat. Or fat-free,
right.
which
and
is the best.
And you can get cheese in a 2% or a low-fat version, so that's always an option.
And I find that lactose-intolerant people can usually tolerate cheese and yogurts better than they can actual milk.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of it's a good way to get your calcium in your milk group.
Right. If you are lactose intolerant, this would be a good recipe for you to use.
As you can tell, I am layering my cheese in the bottom of my loaf.
Looks great.
Thank you. It's delicious. You'll love this. I'm going to take my eggs.
Okay.
Spoon those on top of the cheese. And I think anything with cheese in it is better. I love cheese. Cheese is one of my favorite things to get my dairy in.
Of course, we get some protein from the cheese as well as the eggs. And anytime we can get in some protein, it kind of helps to keep you fuller a little bit longer, digest a little bit slower than carbohydrate. So that's good to include it at breakfast so you get a nice substantial breakfast in the morning. A lot of people are tempted to skip breakfast, but when you have a recipe as tempting as this one, it's easy to go for it instead of skipping it.
Yes, and this recipe is very fridge friendly, as you could say.
Really?
You can make this the night before, and then you could wrap it in foil, put it in your fridge, and then just pop it in the oven the next morning.
That's a great idea.
And it's great because your breakfast is done. All you got to do is turn the oven on.
Sure. That'd be great anytime you have family coming over or friends.
Family gatherings, great.
Have a get together, you can kind of prepare it the night before.
Great brunch.
Yeah. Oh, it would be a great brunch. Layer in our veggies on top, adding some more nutrition there.
Tomatoes. And then some black olives.
Of course, olives are a fat, but they are a heart-healthy fat. They are a monounsaturated fat, so we do get fat, and fat is pretty calorie-dense, so we get a few extra calories from that, but like I said, it is heart-healthy, and monounsaturated fat can actually help lower your cholesterol if it's part of an overall low-fat diet, so I think that's a plus, definitely, with the olives.
Now I'm going to cover this up with foil to seal it in all the heat and the air. Gets to warm our ingredients together to mix. And that's all there is to that dish. And it's good to go. You heat it in your 350-degree oven.
That seems so quick and easy.
Yep, very simple. And the good thing about it is you can substitute like egg beaters for the eggs if you're watching cholesterol.
That's
you
a
can
great idea.
add any type of vegetables that you like that are fresh.
Sure.
But it's just such a versatile little recipe that I like this recipe.
Yeah, it's another one you could be kind of creative with. That's nice.
Yes.
Now, we preheated the oven to 350. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
350.
Great.
For 25 minutes. It's just going to be to heat it through because the eggs are already done.
Okay.
All you're doing is, like I said, letting the flavors mix.
Great. So 25 minutes to heat through, and then we're good to go?
We're good to have breakfast.
All
right
right.
then.
Great. Well, Neva, this smells so good, and it looks great. Now, you mentioned that cheese is the primary ingredient that we used in this recipe that is from the milk group. What other things do you eat from the milk group to help get you the calcium and vitamin D that you need?
I eat yogurt. I love yogurt, the low-fat
good
brand,
one.
and I put some granola and I put some bananas in it. But oh, it's wonderful! It's a
great
it's
idea.
a good treat for after school, in the mornings, midnight snacks. Yogurt's a great one. Like I said
Yeah.
before, lactose intolerant people can probably take this in as a milk group.
That's a great idea. And of course, milk is another good one. Milk, yogurt, and cheese are our primary nutrients that we've discussed in these 3 recipes today to help us get the nutrients that we need. We've focused on calcium and vitamin D. The milk group can also provide us with some potassium and some protein, so we get a lot of nutrients from this group. It's important to remember, too, that we need products from the milk group every single day, and the recommended amount is about 3 servings. Now, you probably would want to go to mypyramid.gov just to be sure, because some people may need a little bit more and some may need a little bit less, and you can get specific recommendations by going to that website. So it's been really fun cooking today. I think we've showed some fun ways to get in calcium, as well as the old standbys with the milk, yogurt, and cheese. So thanks for being here with us today.